So, to get to this point, who would you say were the biggest influences in your life that have helped guide you and shape you into the person that you are today?
First and foremost, my mom,
Yes.
Carrie Boudreaux Richardson.
Okay.
And as I have said on several occasions, especially when she was with us in the physical, that while I'm my father's son, I'm a mama's boy.
Okay.
And I am proud to say that. And she was, and still is, in the spiritual sense, she was my angel. And when you think about those perfect moms, and me knowing a little bit about what you've done with your children, and even how you're taking care of your father, that you're built from the same mold that my mom was. But if you were to describe the perfect mom, the one who was always there, the one who was always caring, the one who went to your elementary school to talk to the principal on your behalf because she didn't think her boy was being treated properly, the one who would host the Cub Scouts and the Weebelows and the Boy Scout meetings in her home, the one who was always the one who had the station wagon who picked up the kids, the one who was always the one who volunteered at the bake sales and the little shops that you did at the sports programs to save the sports program to fund the events and fund the, she was that mom. So
Wow.
I'm just so blessed that that's who that was, and just seeing how she gave and served and cared and loved not only me and my brother and my father, but also every single person that she came in contact with, whether it was her friends from back in the day or when she was a social worker in the East Bay of Northern California. She literally sacrificed and gave her entire life, not asking for much, if anything. So, as I said, and it's been a few years since she's passed, as I said at her memorial service, and this is a true statement, I cannot remember one specific thing my mother ever told me to do.
Okay.
Not one. She didn't tell me to do anything. She showed me what to do. She showed me what to do with her life and how she lived. And she just set that example and gave a recommendation here or there. But she is absolutely the number one biggest influence. Obviously, I have to include my father. But he was that type of, I shouldn't say, but he was the type of father, especially back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
being the sole breadwinner, you know,
Mm-hmm.
physician, old time internal medicine physician. So he had the actual, what do you call it, house call bag, and he'd be on call all the time, and he'd be away from the house. And while I
Mm-hmm.
have amazingly positive memories of my father, there were times where he was working, he was doing what he needed to do. So we have a much stronger relationship now. Definitely evolved when we were both had the privilege of taking care of my mom during her last several years, and now that she is no longer with us in the physical, my father and I have an amazing, strong, and close, and more than any other time in our lives, loving relationship.
Very
So
cool.
obviously he is a huge influence also, but mom has to get number one. Now
Number
there are
one.
obviously other people on a business standpoint, a personal standpoint, but for the sake of that question, we'll say mom's number one and dad, love you, you're number two.
Okay, so um, there were no other influences outside your mom and dad that made a huge difference, a mentor or anybody else
Well,
that,
it depends on what
you
part
know.
of what top part of my life.
Uh
You
huh.
know, I had what you call normal life, but as far as an actual true mentor,
Mm hmm.
and I've come to learn that there's a big difference. Most people, and I was one of those people, misuse the term mentor.
Okay.
Mentor is different than a coach.
Yes.
A lot of people have coaches, a lot of people have had coaches, and most people who think they have mentors don't really have mentors, they have coaches,
Okay.
because a mentor is really, as I understand it, is really somebody who is involved in not just the specific task at hand, like maybe it's sports or music or even business or even life, but they get under the scene, and they're the type of people who really get involved in your life.
Right.
So as far as true mentors, I've probably had two or three, and they've been more long distance mentors or even indirect mentors. And the indirect mentors is somebody who I might not even have ever met. Never met Napoleon Hill, never met Earl Nightingale, never met Les Brown, never met Tony Robbins, but I have been exposed to their teachings and their videos and their books that I can almost consider them an indirect type of mentor. But yeah,
Okay.
I've had a few.
Okay.